For locals, they say, and locals include PRs, I mean, that is the type they barefaced dare to tell Singaporeans foreign talent creates more jobs for Singaporeans. You are not going to fool me when I look at the figures and 94% of the new jobs are going to foreigners. Yeah? I have said this in many forums. I don't care if you call me a racist or xenophobic. I am not. I have lived in many countries around the world. All right? I have lived for long periods in England, in Indonesia, and other parts of the world. I have great friends from all parts of the world. I'm not racist or xenophobic. But when I speak up for Singaporeans' interests, don't come and tell me I'm racist and xenophobic. All right? You know, when Germany, during Angela Merkel's time, admitted more than 1 million immigrants because of the Syrian war, the German people went up in arms. Because no right-thinking person, all right, no right-thinking person will think it is right for that many foreigners to come into their country in a short span of time. And of course, the authorities and those pro-immigration, pro-open borders, all right, say, oh, you're racist and you're xenophobic. No, it is not a matter of racism and xenophobia, because this is the talk from the global elites, the people who stand to gain the most, to profit the most from open borders and immigration, from labor arbitrage. They take labor from a cheap country, they import it into their own country, or it can be foreigners importing the labor into another country. They profit by it, but the people who suffer are the locals. Yeah? The people who suffer are the ones like that taxi driver who spoke Queen's English. And you tell me that it is his lot as a Singaporean to be driving a taxi at this stage of his life. And you say that this is good for Singapore. So, my friends, our TFR is disastrous. All right? It is exacerbated all the time with ridiculous policies. And one of the ridiculous policies now, which people are seeing through, is HDB. 60% of Singaporeans think that property is unaffordable now. Now, I don't need to go and listen to a Sim-An or whatever, all right? Come up with fancy arguments and all that. And I think the opposition is also taking the wrong tack. They are making the arguments so complicated. It is a result of flawed PAP policies of the last 30 years. Building land costs into HDB. All right? And now, of course, they can't get out. And that's why Sim-An has to go and say, oh, you know, if you lower HDB prices drastically, many Singaporeans will be hurt. Yes, it is because of your flawed policies. All right? And now, on the resale market, I think it was in October, it could have been October or November, there were 45 transactions over $1 million. And they say, oh, but BTO is different, it's affordable. Yeah, it is affordable, really? When people have to pay over 25, 30 years? And you know something? When a couple has to wait 5 to 6 years for a BTO, what happens? They move together, they move in together as a family unit later in life, don't they? That means they will have children later in life, right? No one is as brave as a Hui Hui, who has told you that before 30 she wants to have 4 children. Because a lot of Singaporeans will be doing their sums and thinking, look here, I can't afford this. It's not only housing, it's not only the rising inflation on food and fuel? What about childcare? What about other costs?